thank you for joining in this webinar. May we please ask Bismarck Ampofo to give us the opening prayer.
So shall we pray? Heavenly Father, we thank you this morning for your grace and for your mercies. We acknowledge it's not by our works, it's not by our strength, but it has been by your help and by your mercies. We commit our meeting today in your hands. Ask that you bless our meeting, you bless our deliberations and our discussions, and make it a success. This and many blessings we ask for our Lord Jesus Christ. Amen.
Thank you, Bismarck. And once again, we want to welcome our unit holders into this webinar, which is organized by Republic Investments, Ghana Limited, to discuss recent developments and its impact on your investment and offer solutions to boost your investment in the collective investment schemes, in particular the unit trust scheme and also the Republic Wealth Trust. As you know, Republic Investment is a wholly owned subsidiary of Republic Bank, Ghana PLC. We are licensed and regulated by the Securities and Exchange Commission and the National Pensions Regulatory Authority to provide fund management services and pension services as well. At Republic Investment and Republic Bank, we say, we are the one for you. It is therefore right for me to say that you are at the right forum this morning. I will now proceed to introduce the key persons you will be hearing from in this webinar. We have Madeleine Nete, who is the Chief Executive of Republic Investment. We have Edwin Jemfi, is the Head of Asset Management. And you will also be hearing from Kwesi Bedin, who is the Deputy Head of Marketing and Investment Advice, later during the sections. I am Divine Stanley Agbola, the Deputy General Manager and your moderator this morning. We shall proceed as follows. We will hear a welcome message from the CEO. There will be a presentation on the market development valuation of CISs and alternative investment solutions. There will be a presentation on a subclass introduction and what our unit holders need to know. We shall take comments and also questions from you and respond to them accordingly. Please feel free to raise your hand to comment and ask questions at the right time. You may also use the chat feature to type your questions and we shall address them accordingly. May I now proceed to invite the Chief Executive of Republic Investment, Madeleine Nete, to give us her welcome message.
Hello and good morning, our cherished unit holders. We really appreciate your time for making it to this virtual meeting. We are also very grateful to you for keeping loyal to our business and for staying with us and investing in the collective investment schemes managed by Republic Investments. As you would know, Republic Investments has been at the forefront of developments in the capital market, and particularly in the collective investment scheme space. We introduced the first collective investment scheme, which is the Republic Unit Trust, over 30 years ago. Due to our passion for innovation and creativity, to help meet your varied investment goals and needs, we continue to introduce 4 more unit trust schemes into the market. We manage an equity fund, a balance fund, a real estate investment fund, and a fixed income fund, in addition to the money market fund, the unit trust. In recent times, there has been a lot of developments in the macroeconomic space and in the regulatory space. Some of these warranted new guidelines and new compliance requirements from our regulator. And as you all may have been informed earlier, our regulator had to request that we all adopt a new valuation method, which was the mark-to-market. Rightly so, it caused a lot of unrest and a lot of demands for explanations. We are so grateful to all of you that you considered it necessary to engage us, and through constant engagement, you have stayed with us to this time. We listened to your concerns, we listened to all that you needed to keep you at rest, and that is why we are here today, to introduce to you some alternative solutions that we have brought to you to help you better manage your investments and also to help you work towards your investment goals, which has been your passion till date. So again, we are grateful to you, and I encourage you to stay with us. It will be a very short session. I would appreciate that it's interactive. Let us know what you are thinking, so we listen and continue to provide for you the best solutions. Thank you for joining us, and please stay tuned.
Thank you, Madeleine. We will now proceed to receive the first presentation from the head of asset management, Edwin.
Good morning, cherished unit holders, and thanks for making it to be part of this call. I'm going to be sharing with you some brief events that have occurred in the past few months and how these events have impacted our investment decisions since then. A call in October 2022, the Securities and Exchange Commission introduced or directed that capital market operators adopt a mark-to-market method of valuation. And as a compliant fund manager, we needed to implement and adopt ways to ensure that our systems were configured to adopt the new MTM valuation method as directed by the Securities and Exchange Commission. So what we realized was that the market at the time had to be compliant with the IFRS 9 and International Accounting Standard. I think that's what necessitated the introduction of the mark-to-market valuation method. Recall also that at the time, interest rates, even in October and before October, interest rates at very elevated levels, and this had adverse impacts on the liquidity in the market as a whole. Now, your fund manager in compliance had to configure its software systems to be able to adopt the new mark-to-market method of valuation. And we have since fully implemented the mark-to-market, and as we have realized, your investment have had to go through periods of lows and highs as a result of the bond price fluctuations. Now, in all this, we witnessed some reactions from unit holders, our customers, and we'd like to throw some light on some of the reactions we witnessed in the course of the MTM implementation. I think the very first was the quest to redeem investments. We saw increased redemption requests and account closures. And this wasn't an isolated case. It was widespread in the industry. We also saw halts in additional investment into the fund. We also realized that there were a lot of discontinuations of standing orders, direct debits, and other transfers into the fund. But it wasn't only on the part of unit holders. I think the market, the industry, farm managers as a whole also reacted. And we realized also that in the course of time, we needed as a market, as an industry, to engage, to have continuous engagement. I think the CEO highlighted a bit of this. There was continuous investor engagement in a bid to highlight the need to focus more on the long term so as not to crystallize losses in the immediate term. In doing that, your farm manager, Republic Investment, shared with you a circular on mark-to-markets and some FAQs, some frequently asked questions, just to be able to break it down and allow for better appreciation and understanding of the mark-to-market that we have implemented. We also realized that at the time, and as observed in the industry, redemption requests were partially honored. But at the time, there were a lot of redemption that were flooding various farm managers' premises in an attempt to kind of mitigate losses. I mean, investors had to take steps to reduce the effect of the mark-to-market on their investments. And so we realized that redemption requests were at elevated levels, and farm managers had to find ways to partially honor some of these redemption requests. We also realized and also observed as well that some GOG bonds or GOG bonds that were held in investment portfolios had to be prematurely liquidated to be able to lessen the concentration in GOG investments and also minimize the adverse impact on the investment of our unit holders. In all this, your farm manager still needed to be innovative and come up with solutions to protect your investment going forward. And this led us to create what we call a surplus fund or surplus funds to be able to safeguard the interests of our unit holders. And what basically the surplus fund seeks to do is to encourage new deposits. The new deposits that are coming in are going to be ring-fenced and redeployed or deployed into financial instruments that are less susceptible to bond price volatilities. So this is the time perhaps to call on you to, for those who had to discontinue your standing orders, your direct debits, a time to call on you to reinstate or reactivate your standing order because there are exciting times ahead. Your new investments are going to be ring-fenced and going to be channeled into investment that are going to generate consistent returns over time. And so the next presentation is going to be touching on what the details of the surplus fund is and what it stands to offer to our cherished unit holders. So I'll pause here and thank you for your attention. Let's stay tuned for the next presentation, and afterwards we can have time to interact and ask our questions that you bring forward. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Mr. Gyamfi, for your presentation. Unit holders, there are exciting times ahead for all of you and all of us because of the alternative investment option that is being provided by the fund manager, the subclass funds for the Republic Unit Trust and the Republic Wealth Trust. At this time, we will welcome Kwesi Baden, who is the Deputy Head of Marketing and Investment Advice, to give us the key features of this new portfolio that we are introducing to help our unit holders. It is all in the spirit of ensuring that we continue our relationship with you on this investment journey that we have begun. Some of you, several years ago, you have remained loyal, and we believe that we must continue that relationship with you, and therefore, this alternative is very key in this journey together with you. So I welcome Kwesi Baden to lead us into understanding the subclass and what you, our unit holders, you need to know. We'll come back and then we'll engage in conversation on your comments and also questions. Thank you. Kwesi.
Hello and good morning to everyone on the call. Indeed, as we've all heard all around, it is exciting times to be a unit holder for both Republic Unit Trust as well as the Republic Wealth Trust. It is with excitement that I take us through the next part of this presentation that seeks to highlight the key features of what we are about to share with you. Without wasting too much time, we will touch on the alternatives and the next part of the presentation. Is looking at introducing an additional feature which is known as the Republic Subclass Funds for the Unit Trust as well as the Wealth Trust Fund. This has been elaborated into details from our head of asset management, Edwin Jamefi, and I'll take us through what this is all about. So basically, a subclass fund refers to a subgroup of securities that have similar features in the existing fund with a wider investment pool. Just to break it down, and I'll be emphasizing a lot on this as we go along, this is not a new product. This is an additional feature that we are adding to the Republic Unit Trust as well as the Republic Wealth Trust to enhance its features and ensure that level of price stability with regards to the management of its portfolio. So why the need to set up a subclass fund for the funds, Unit Trust as well as the Wealth Trust account? Ladies and gentlemen, you will notice that the subclass fund seeks to safeguard and protect new funds or deposits from the impact of volatile securities or instruments. It will also address the current price fluctuations which the fund is currently exposed to. It will also seek to achieve fairly stable returns on investments for unit holders. Now, as I've emphasized or I've made mention earlier on, which will run through the entire presentation, this is not a new collective investment scheme, and thereby it does not require any additional KYC requirements for existing customers to partake or be part of the subclass fund. Now the question is, what securities would the new subclass invest in? The subclass will invest in short-term money market instruments, fixed deposit securities, and other listed or unlisted but secured debt equity as well as equity-linked securities. These securities will be aligned to the investment objective of the respective funds. Now, if you are wondering who is eligible to invest in the subclass fund, as has been made mention already, everyone and anyone who was eligible to invest in the Republic Unit Trust as well as the Republic Wealth Trust is eligible to still invest in the subclass fund. Retail customers, individuals, both existing and potential clients, corporate institutions, associations, clubs, welfare groups, churches, all registered groups, anyone and everyone can actually partake. Fund managers, pension fund managers, each and everyone can partake and enjoy the returns from the surplus fund. Now, there might be people wondering, how do I keep my account active? If I have investments and I want to pay money into the surplus fund, as has been mentioned earlier, all our collection channels are open to receive funds in the surplus fund, be it cash, checks, transfers, standing orders. For those of us who are on our direct debits, all of them can then go through to continue to fund your account. The Republic Ghana mobile app can also do that for you. For those of us who want to fund our accounts through mobile money, our mobile money USSD code *737*80# on all networks is still available for you. Now, ladies and gentlemen, there are no charges to the various means of purchasing additional or new units in the surplus fund. With regards to requirements for setting up accounts, I would just like to emphasize one more time that there is no need for an existing client to complete new additional KYCs to be able to enjoy or participate in making investments in a surplus fund. However, the process for onboarding remains the same for clients who are opening an investment account, a completed set of account opening forms, a recently taken passport-sized photograph, a verifiable national ID, Ghana card, your digital address, birth certificates in case you are opening an account for children or an ITF account, and then a cover letter and any other registrar general documentations for anyone opening this account for an institution or a registered group or an association. Now, with regards to operations of the fund, what we notice here is that new investments, as has been explained by Edwin Jainfi, our head of asset management, will automatically be part of the portfolio of the surplus fund. So therefore, the fund manager will not combine the management of the old existing portfolio with the new one. New investments will be separate in a new portfolio with the surplus fund. Now, daily valuations will continue to run. The assets will be valued for the existing fund on a daily basis, which will reflect the mark-to-market valuation for those funds as required by law. Now, with regards to processing of redemptions on the investment account, the mark-to-market value would apply to anyone who has existing funds in the account already, and therefore the already laid down procedure for withdrawal will still hold, but this will be different for the surplus fund. Now, someone might ask, do I need to complete new additional investment forms or new redemption forms in case I want to make a transaction, be it deposit or withdrawal from my account, since we are introducing this additional feature as a surplus fund? No, the already existing additional and redemption forms will remain unchanged, and you can still top up to your investment with our additional investment forms, or make a transaction if you want to redeem with the same redemption forms as old. Nothing changes with regards to the forms that you will be completing. So with regards to redemption dynamics from your account, unit holders are encouraged to first redeem their investments or units in the surplus fund, and then proceed to redeem from the main fund when the investments or units in the surplus fund are exhausted. So if you have money in the surplus fund, you can readily have access to that. And once you need additional funds that will might not be enough in the surplus fund, and you have investments in the existing portfolio, you can then have access to that as well. One might ask, how is the statement going to look like? Your statements will still remain the same, but what you will notice is that the new deposits you are making will be separated from the existing transactions you've already made on your account, and therefore the balance summary, you will notice that both your units as well as your values for both the existing as well as the new portfolio will clearly sum up, and you can see it clearly on your statement as displayed on your screen. So on your screen is an example of a statement with someone who has an existing portfolio with the Republic Unit Trust. The person has made various transactions. Now, there isn't going to be a separate statement for the surplus. The same statement will apply, but you will notice that the transactions in the surplus are shown at the lower column of the statement. Now, at the lower right-hand corner, you will notice both units as well as values for both the existing portfolio as well as the surplus fund clearly sum up, and it makes it very easy for you to understand how this will be managed. So this is exciting times to be a unit holder. If you do not have units in the fund yet, they're saying the best time to have planted an oak tree was some 20 years ago, and definitely the next best time is always now. Kindly feel free to speak to any Republic Investments representative by visiting our office or visiting any Republic Bank branch if you wish to open or make additional investments onto your account, and we will be more than happy to assist you. So thank you very much, and definitely the time to invest is always now. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Kwesi, for that elaborate presentation on the introduction of the subclass. The emphasis is the fact that it is not a new fund that we are introducing. It is just an additional feature and a portfolio that is going to be managed to benefit our unit holders and comes to give comfort to attract and receive more deposit and investments from you. Like I said, we want to deepen our relationship with you. We want to continue this journey together, and therefore your fund manager have thought through the options available to keep you invested in the fund. So this is a very exciting investment avenue that will keep you investing with us. We will open up now for questions and comments. I know a lot of you might have some comments and questions you will want to seek clarifications on. This is the time. Feel free, type in your questions, raise up your hand, and then you'll be called accordingly to engage in this interactive session. Thank you. I want to ask our CEO to give us a unit holder is trying to find out. So what is the main difference between the unit trust, the existing one, and the subclass that is being introduced?
Thank you for your question. So the main difference between the subclass that's been introduced and the existing unit trust fund is the assets or the investments that will be done with the contributions or the deposits you make into the fund. So as you would observe, the existing fund is being valued on the mark-to-market, and the constituent assets in the fund are very sensitive to the mark-to-market valuation. So on a day-to-day basis, you see fluctuations in the price. These are unrealized loss, but the pricing differences seems to create a bit of unrest for some of us. That is what we are seeking to cure. So this new subclass will deliberately concentrate on securities that are not sensitive to the mark-to-market valuation. So just as you knew before in terms of how the unit trust or the wealth trust operated, this time you would see that there isn't that volatility that used to happen on the old fund. And any deposit that you make, it's easy for you to track what we are all used to. So clearly the main difference is the security that will be investing your deposits in. Thank you. And some of these are fixed deposits. We are looking at bills. We are looking at unlisted and listed securities, equity-linked securities, and many other alternative investments that are less susceptible to mark-to-market valuation. Thank you.
Thank you, Madeline, for that clarity. Another unit holder is asking, can I transfer my existing holding into the new subclass? I think Edwin would like to handle that for us.
Thank you for the question. The subclass, as highlighted in the presentation, seeks to accommodate your needs of it so that it is not affected by the fluctuations we are seeing in the existing fund. Yes, I mean, to hear said good news, we would like to move your investment in the existing fund into the sub plan. But that is really not objective because the fund manager is also increasingly rebalancing the existing fund. We are gradually reinvesting maturities that are coming into other instruments that are less sensitive to the bond price volatility. So we realize that even though the surplus has been have had its path charted towards the fixed deposit material, the old and existing funds also going to be redirected into the bills and the fixed deposit as well. There is an existing withdrawal regime, and so there is a level of engagement we must have at the time that you wish to move your funds from the existing to the surplus. But it really, as I said, it's not an objective to move the funds from the existing to the surplus. The existing is also being rebalanced so that with time you can have it also assume the same characteristics as the surplus going forward. Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Jemfi, for that clarity. There is a hand raise from Kobena Kese Ewa. Please unmute and then ask your question. Okay, whilst we wait for Kobena, there's another question from a unit holder. I want to know, so does it mean that we actually have to fill out new account opening parts if we are interested in signing up for the subclass fund? That was the question. Mauli is asking this question.
Mauli, thank you very much for your question. The good news is that you do not need to do anything else if you are an existing unit holder. So like my colleague mentioned earlier, all you need to do is to let your deposit come through. You can use any of our channels, visit any Republic Bank branch or Republic Investments head office. You can also use our short code *737*80# and do your deposits from your mobile account. You can bring us checks. You can set up standing orders in your bank or a direct debit, and immediately your investment is in the subclass. So that is the good news. Right as of now that you are listening to us, you can actually make a deposit and it will reflect in the subclass. Thank you.
Thank you, Madeline. Can we hear Kobena now? Kobena Kesi Ewa. Please. Yeah. Okay.
Yes.
We can hear you now.
Yes.
Okay. So I have two questions actually. The first one is around the mark to market. So I have a unit trust account, and at some point when the mark to market was introduced, I realized that my account balance reduced significantly. The advice I got was to hold on to the funds rather than withdrawing, with hopes that once the market is a bit more stabilized, the price would be adjusted accordingly. What is the impact when the funds at the moment, which is less of the actual value that I had realized, when it's moved into this subclass account, what happens to the original, value that the account had prior to the mark to market being introduced? That's my first question. And then the second question is around the subclass account. I wanted to find out if the portfolio is a subclass of the unit trust portfolio, because I received a recent statement, and on the statement it shows the unit price of the existing unit trust, as well as the unit price of the subclass. It turns out that the subclass has a higher cost per unit compared to the existing unit trust account. So I just want to find out if it's the same portfolio that is being used, maybe a bit lesser from the original unit trust account, and also why the unit price on the sub account is higher than the unit trust account itself. I hope the question is clear.
Very clear. Thank you, Kobena, for that important and useful question. Madeline will take the first one. That has to do with the reduced position on your investment.
Thank you, Partner, for your question. And on the mark-to-market or the existing unit trust account, rightly as you said, you would have seen that there were some changes in the value of your investment. At the very beginning, when we adopted the mark-to-market, most of the bonds or some of the securities that we had invested in, particularly the bonds, were trading at very huge discounts on the secondary market. So valuing the bonds or valuing the funds using those prices ended up showing some realized losses that made you see a dip in the value of your investment. Again, I retrace that these were unrealized losses. So your money was not lost, it still remains. If you would observe, right after we went into the domestic debt exchange program, where the values of the investments we had in the bonds were literally reinstated, you would have seen a significant boost in your investment. So yes, indeed, the mark-to-market would continue to reflect the prevailing prices on the securities in the fund on any day we do the valuation. And we keep encouraging that these are unrealized losses. Your money is not lost. We are only reflecting the value so that for those who choose to exit at any point in time, they exit with a true value of their investment on the day. And we preserve the value for those who choose to stay. So all existing unit holders that continue to stay, your value is being preserved, and day in, day out, you will see that the value of your investment has improved. Indeed, it has improved and has been quite stable for the past few days if you have been observing your investments. So that is what you rightly saw under the mark-to-market.
Thank you, Madeline. And the second question, Mr. Gyamfi, will help us why the higher cost per unit for the existing and also the subclass.
Okay, thank you, Governor, and thanks for the observation. I think that the price that has been set for the subclass fund is only an initial price. It's a price we need to set to be able to convert your new deposit into units. So it could have been 2, it could have been 0.5, it could have been any other price. But I think the attraction we should be looking at is how well this price grows over time, what value it brings going forward. And so you will have a price of 0.5, but it is not giving the needed value. There's really no point having a low price relative to the existing fund. So the price of one, yes, may seem higher at this point than the existing fund, but as we've noted in our presentation, this is expected to bring in value, generate value for the unit holders. So let's see how the surplus perform. I think if you are consistent, you look at into the fund, you come to realize how the sub fund is performing and how the price is also adjusting positively to generate the value for you. So yes, it's a good operation, but as I said, it's a set price that is needed to convert your new deposit into units for the surplus fund.
Thank you. Just to add that the existing unit trust will equally be managed, separate from the subclass, and therefore your value in the existing unit trust still holds. You continue to gain very good returns from that as well as the subclass. That's how come on the statement you will be seeing the summary positions for the existing fund and also the subclass. Kwebena, your hand is still up. Do you want to do a follow-up question before I move to the next person? Your suggestion is well noted, Kobena. Very well noted. But if you look at the price as of, I think, yesterday or today, they almost at par. They almost at par. So, but your comment is well noted, and we'll take note of that. Thank you so much. Valuable. There is a question, a hand raised from Seyram Adonu. Seyram, please unmute and speak to us.
Okay, good morning. Can you hear me, please?
Good morning. We can hear you loud and clear.
Very well. Okay, so I want to get this clarity. The first one is, if I understand correctly, what you mean is that you're not recommending that if I have a unit trust account, you are not recommending I move the funds into the subclass. You're saying that we keep it there, and then any new investment or any new monies I am sending to my unit trust account would automatically go into the subclass. Is that correct?
Seyram, you are correct.
Okay. Now, is it possible for me to also say that, okay, I don't want it to go into the subclass. I want to keep it in the original unit trust.
Very, very good question. And Madeline will want to speak to that for us.
Okay, so please note that and speak to it after I'm done. Now, the other thing is, when Madeline, you were speaking earlier on, you did mention is it unrealizable loss? Is that the word? Okay.
Yes.
And you said that your money is not lost and we're just keeping it for you, blah, blah, blah. And I'm just thinking that, okay, if I invested, say, 500 cedis, and when this MTM thing was introduced, and I had wanted to take it out, you probably said that, okay, if I'm taking it out on that day, I'll get like 300. Okay. And I remember I was told that, just like you highlighted, that keep your money, don't take it out now, things will get better. And let's say I've waited for a couple of months, I'm going to take it again, and it's probably I invested 500 and now I'm going to get like 400. And now you say it is unrealizable loss, your money is there. Please, I don't quite get that one. So if you can clarify that again. Because once you tell me that I haven't lost the money and the money is there, and at the day I want it, you are even giving me less than what the capital I invested, then I'll have problems with you.
Okay. Seyram, thank you for your question.
Thank you.
Seyram, thank you very much for your question. So going through the scenario you enumerated, so you invested like 500 CDs, and when we implemented the mark to market, it came down to 300 CDs, and we encouraged you to hold on. You did hold on, and you realized currently when you check, it's say 450 CDs. Indeed, you would observe that it was worth waiting because it would have been 300 if you took it yesterday. But because you waited for today, it came to 450 CDs. And that is exactly what we are saying, that the securities or the assets that we have invested in are still intact. We are only reflecting the current market value each day for those who choose to exit. So if you choose to exit today, we are saying that that is the value that we would pay you, or you can accrue to yourself. However, if you wait and the assets in the fund regain value, that value comes back to you. I can give a simple example, like having 2 tins of milk, okay? So you bought the 2 tins of milk at 5 CDs. Today you wanted cash, you wanted to sell, and the person available says, I will only give you 3 CDs if you want to sell today. You are faced with 2 options. Either you sell your milk today at 3 CDs, or you keep your milk and wait for when the price goes up again. So you wait, and in 2 weeks, milk is selling at 5 CD 50 pesos. So long as you did not sell your tins of milk, you have not lost any money. But assuming 2 weeks ago, you chose to sell 1 tin of milk, you would have lost 2 CDs on that tin of milk. So that is how the mark to market works. If you choose to exit or sell today, then you crystallize the loss because the value that is going that day, you have actually accrued it. But if you wait, you have the potential when the market corrects. And like I alluded to, we have actually seen a bit of recovery from when we started the mark to market in October last year, compared to what we are reflecting today in the value of the units. And if you also observe, you will see same. So that is the discussion about unrealized loss. And indeed, it's worth waiting to see the market correct, because markets go through cycles and they have a way of correcting themselves. Thank you.
Thank you, Madeleine, for that. I think there was also a question on your new deposits, as to whether you can choose to have it into the existing unit trust, or it goes automatically to the subclass. Indeed, that goes automatically to the subclass from now going forward. There's a hand from Frank Owusu. Frank, please, let's hear from you, your question or comment.
Yes, please. My question is, well, we've been given a short code where we can transfer money from our mobile phones onto our accounts. Yes. So can we also have another way of verifying our balances without always going through the front desk?
Thank you, Frank, for your question. So as you would observe, once you make a deposit, you get an alert which confirms the deposit you have made. You can also check your balance without coming to our office. You can actually send a message to us on our WhatsApp numbers, or you can place a call to us or send us an email, and we will respond accordingly with your balance. So there are various means that you can actually check your balance. The Republic mobile app is also available, and that can also be used to check your balance on a regular basis. So all these avenues are available. Thank you.
So, thank you, Madeline. Frank, please, you can contact us after this so that we guide you through how you assess the mobile app and other means of checking your balance or investment positions going forward. Thank you. There's a hand from Prosper Mauli. Prosper, please speak to us. Ask your question.
Yeah. Hello. Good morning, everyone. So, from what I'm understanding, it's like we are all existing unit holders are automatically being moved to the subclass. And I was thinking maybe there will be that option where the unit holders will decide if they want to switch or they still want to remain on the existing account. I don't know if you can look at it. And then my other concern is, speaking of calling your contact centers, I've rarely ever called and then someone picked up the call. I don't know if I've been calling the wrong line or whenever I call, nobody picks. I don't know why. These are my few concerns. Thank you.
We are sorry for the second challenge that you usually face when you try to contact us. I can just give you our number if you don't have it. Please, next time, just dial 0303 944 330. I repeat, 0303 944 330 or 0303 944 331. I'm pretty sure you should get to our front desk for any assistance you may require. I will ask Madeline again, want to respond to your first question.
Okay. Thank you, Prosper, for your question. So again, on the numbers that we're given, you can actually send us an email to at investments@republicghana.com. republicghana.com is all in lowercase and together. So investments@republicghana.com. You can send us an email or you can call the phone number that was given. I will project these on the screen again before we close so that you can all take our contact numbers. You can also go to our website and you will find all our contact details there. So with regards to your question on the option to stay on the hold, thank you for your question. It's well noted. Like we indicated at the beginning of the presentation, there has been a lot of engagement with you, our unit holders. And based on the engagement we had, we realized that there was the need to provide this new solution. We have also indicated that the new subclass is still being governed by the same scheme particulars, the same investment objectives that the old one has. So nothing has changed. The only thing that has changed is that we do not want you to see a lot of fluctuation in your investment. As a matter of fact, we do not even want you to see fluctuation. Possibly, we wish that you see only upward movement in your investment. And that is why this new solution has come. So we saw it as a best deal compared to the old one. And so any new deposit that you make is going into the new one. Now, your investment statement would show both your investment in the old fund and the investment in the new fund. And like we said, you don't need to do anything. Just keep depositing and the investment will go to meet your investment objective. Thank you.
Thank you, Madeline. There is a hand from Finance and Economics. Please introduce yourself and you can ask your question.
All right, thank you. So my name is Frederick Avonyo. I So I get the import of trying to introduce this subclass so that the stability that is usually associated with a money market instrument is restored. But what is preventing you from doing that with our previous investment so that it's not the new funds that we deposit that gets into this class, but everything that that I have as of now is converted into the subclass, since the unit trust itself is supposed to be a money market instrument and so forth, and so should be very stable, as the lady was explaining. So why do you have to create a separate fund or have a separate fund for the subclass, and then our previous investment remain in the unit trust? Why can't you move everything? What is stopping that? I hope my question is clear, please.
We'll give you an answer. So Madeline will just elaborate further on the earlier response she gave.
Okay, thank you, Frederick, for your question. So as I explained earlier, the investments in the old fund or the existing unit trust fund that you know of, these are investments that have already been made. The assets we are holding on behalf of all unit holders. And also critical is that the bond market, the secondary bond market, activity on the market has slowed down a bit. And like we explained earlier, if we need to exit the assets or sell some of the securities that we have, we will need to sell them at discounts. And this will mean that we have crystallized the loss on the assets for all unit holders. So the perception that the value will restore, we would have eroded that because we have crystallized the loss on behalf of all unit holders. So what we are recommending is that as some of these securities continue to mature, we move them into assets that are less volatile to the mark-to-market valuation. Over time, we would see that the old fund or the existing fund would have come to that point of stability that we are all looking for, and that we are actively doing to ensure that we stabilize the returns in the existing fund. Thank you.
Thank you, Madeline. Mr. JV, do you want to add something?
The need to not crystallize losses in the immediate term, I think is very critical, because the bond prices as of today is still not at par, it's still discounted. So assuming we were moving your money or your funds from the old fund into the surplus, this is going to be done at a loss. And what we are seeking to do is to, with time, see how we can rebalance. And I think Martin made a point on that, that the maturities that are coming in the old fund are being channeled into money market instruments. And so with time, you realize that the old fund would assume a feature similar to the surplus in a way that can provide you consistent growth as we used to know in the past. So the admonition is for you to still hold on with your investment in the old fund and then allow the prices to move in a direction that will make your investment balances appreciate, to be able to align with the surplus, and then we can have a conversion at some point. So it is possible at some point the surplus and the existing fund will be merged, it will come back together, because then both are showing some stability that permits the two to be put together again for investment in money market going forward. Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you, Fred, for that useful question. There's a hand from Veronica Aubry Yeviel. Please ask your question and speak to us.
My question is for the existing unit trust holders, they had a condition of 1,000 withdrawal from their funds per week. My question is, what's the condition for the subclass? Does it remain the same or there's a change? Thank you.
That's important question. I believe most of our unit holders may be thinking about the same question. So please, Madeline will respond to us.
Thank you, Veronica, for the question, and a very important one. So the subclass brings another level of good news. You can withdraw as much as you can. The old withdrawal policy that you knew. So you could withdraw 5,000 cash immediately at the counter, or if the amount exceeds that within 5 business days, we communicate to you on you picking up a check for your withdrawal. So that's the good news it brings. And this is because the liquidity in the subclass is so well enhanced that we are able to help you come in and out at will. So we encourage you to encourage all your friends. They should just deposit their money in the unit trust instead of leaving it in your bank account and earning nothing, because you can have access to it anytime you need it. Thank you, Veronica.
Thank you, Madeline. There's another hand from George Amedetou. Please speak to us. George, please unmute your mic.
Thank you, sir. I hope you can hear me clear.
Yes, proceed.
Please, I want to find out why I can't check the balance for the subclass from the app.
Okay, we'll respond to that. The process of configuring the subclass balances on the app is ongoing, and our technical team are working on that one. I'm sure from next week, thereabouts, you should be able to check the subclass balance as well from the app, the mobile app, accordingly. So it's work in progress. It will be worked on. I've just been informed that it is actually working. So please try again. And if there is any concern, take the numbers, call us, and then we'll help accordingly. Thank you, George. Loretta, please, let's hear from you.
Hello, okay. Thank you very much for your time and then all the explanations. And we are grateful that you are taking proactive measures towards our funds. My question is similar to Veronica's question. Let's say it's an appeal, because in fact, the new limits that you set on the accounts, I didn't have any communication on it whatsoever. Only for me to, need something in an emergency. And then I was told this is the cap and all that. So I don't know. Initially, I used to receive communications in my email. I did the updates. I used to receive my statement, but now I don't receive. I have sent emails several times that I want to get updates and all that, but to no avail. So it was quite frustrating, only for you to be told at the counter that this is the new law. And I don't know if something can be done about it, because there are emergency situations. And maybe if not at the counter, you can give a 1 month period or maybe 2 months, but you are sure that you can get your money at this time. But for the cap and having to, maybe you are indisposed, you cannot be going every day, a week like that. It's very frustrating, honestly. So I don't know if something can be done. And secondly, I want to know if withdrawal can also be made on the app or with a short code or something. Thank you.
Thank you, Veronica. Please, can you give us your full name? Can we have your full name, Veronica? Sorry, Loretta's. Please unmute your mic and give us your full name. Okay. What's at that? The withdrawal on the app, it will be considered and the decision will be made. Okay. My name is Loretta. The full name, please. Loretta Kuma. Loretta Kuma, thank you. Right, so on the withdrawal from the app, your suggestion is taken. We will discuss it. We will take a decision on that, and you take your comment into consideration accordingly. Madam, want to answer the first part?
Okay. So Loretta, we apologize for your experience, and like we've taken your details, we'll actually reach out to you today, right after this meeting. You'll hear from us to help with, I don't know whether the issue will be with the email that you had or not, but we'll make sure we clear that so that you get all the communication from us. And we note the suggestions you gave regarding your first question, and we would get back to you accordingly. Thank you.
Okay. We have Ike, hands up. Please, can you ask your question or comment?
Thank you very much for the opportunity. I wanted to get something. In the last few months, from October, right, when the new procedures were introduced by the Securities and Exchange Commission, you yourself have said that a lot of things have gone down in terms of the trading and everything. The truth is, today, you realize that the customers are the whole banking system. If they don't bring their money, the banking is not going to work. So during the DDP period, did you have a conversation with government? And was there anything that is aimed at using to support the investor in times of difficulty? The lady who just made a comment, Madam Loretta, said she needed her money, she couldn't get her money. The same thing applied to a lot of us as well. So was the government thinking about the investors bringing their money, or possibly maybe the government doesn't really care about the customers, care about the bank, and so maybe it's protecting the bank than the customers, which is to some extent is the reason why a lot of people will feel reluctant to bring their monies to these investments. Today, there's a sub deal down there for us to sign up to. Meanwhile, we could have been using the unit trust, which is already there. So what was the conversation between you and the bank, which is you and the government, who is the very person we are investing our money in this economy? What was the conversation? Does it aim at protecting the individual investor, or it was just about protecting the bank keep growing?
Thank you, Ike. Your question is well taken, understood. We will not attempt to speak for the government at this forum. However, we'll try to let you know the sort of engagement that have gone into and the concessions that unit trusts or collective investment schemes receive from the government. Madeleine.
Thank you, Ike, for your question, and we really empathize with all our unit holders for what we've all been through during these times. It hasn't been easy for any of you, but we thank you for your fortitude and for holding on till now. We have really been in talks with government, several discussions, and I assure you that a lot of discussions are ongoing in terms of providing some liquidity support for the collective investment schemes. Our regulator, our association, and we ourselves as market players are all involved in this discussion. And that is why we only ask that you keep calm, and we are hopeful that things will certainly get better. So thank you for your loyalty and your patience.
Thank you. There are two more hands here, and I believe we'll take these two and we'll try to wrap up the discussion this morning. Sal, please unmute your mic and ask your question.
Okay, thank you very much and good morning. I just want to clarify something. You know, most of these investments, they are usually invested in government securities. How different is this subclass? What are we investing in? If I may know, that should give me the assurance of it being a different story than what has happened in the past. If it's going into government securities again or something else we've targeted this time around. Thank you.
Question. Mr. Jemfi will respond to you with all the assurances.
Thank you for your question. I think we noted in our presentation in response to some of the questions that came up that the difference between the subclass and the existing fund is the investment we are going to channel your funds into. So we are going to be restricted to fixed deposit, treasury bills, listed and unlisted corporate debts or bonds. And these securities investments are less sensitive to price fluctuations. I think that is the key word. We want to be able to shield your new deposit from the bond price fluctuations. So it goes into investment that can generate consistent growth over time. So that's assurance that this subclass, having received approval from the regulator, will be keen on directing investments towards the money market space so we can generate the return that is expected of it. So that assurance we can give on the subclass.
All right. Thank you, Mr. Jemfi. I think Mr. Phillips is back. Can you please unmute and ask your question, Kobina?
I want to ask, what happens when the market rebounds? Will the RUT and RUT-SC be merged, or like I just want to know what happens when the market comes back to normal? And if the SC is also going to be based on the MTM valuation, is it possible that there are days where we realize a lower value, like a loss on the investment? Those are my two questions. Thank you.
Thank you, Kobina. Madeline, please, can you respond to Kobina?
Thank you, Kobina. So what will happen when the market rebounds? That will be good news for everybody. And like I indicated or illustrated with the tins of milk, I don't know whether you were on, the value per unit is going to go up, and therefore each unit holder will see an improvement in your value. The other thing too that is likely to happen then will be liquidity. Once the market is trading at a premium, or you can sell your item for more than you bought it for, then it's very easy for the fund manager to even sell some of the securities, and that is what will also improve liquidity. So we all await that, and that will be good news for everybody. And once we are able to easily exit some of the securities, it will certainly bring the two funds almost at par, and at that point, we would do further analysis to determine whether to merge both funds or not. But we really await those good times, and it certainly will come. Thank you.
Thank you, Madeline. The good times will certainly come, is the word. Dr. Stephen Moore, could you please unmute and please ask your question?
Okay, so my problem is, I'm wondering, I didn't get any information on this DDEP. Because quite recently I went to the bank. I wanted to withdraw some monies, and I was told I could just take about 1,000 a week, and I felt really a bit unfairly treated, I would say. So I'm hoping that this can be resolved so that those who want to, for instance, if I'm leaving Ghana, I want to take my money out. It's possible for us to do that and take our monies and go away to wherever I want to go. I'm hoping you will consider this because when I spoke to Justice, what he told me was I have to apply and wait for some long time, or I have to do 1,000 every week. And if I do 1,000 every week, I may need maybe 30 weeks or 40 weeks or 50 weeks. So I'm hoping you can do something about this for us as well. Thank you.
Okay. Thank you, Dr. Moore. We empathize deeply with what you and other unit trust holders have had to go through. We are hoping that the liquidity positions will improve, and then we can adjust the positions accordingly. But feel free to please engage us further, and we continue to deal with the situation to make our unit holders comfortable as we journey along. Thank you so much. We'll take the very last question from Tony, and then we'll be wrapping up the conversation. So Tony, please speak to us.
Yes, good afternoon. My concern is just like the other ones raised on this cap of 1,000 cities. But first of all, if I wanted to find out the SC, when is it taking in place? Is it starting now? Is it something that you are implementing now? Then you also raised that automatically, once the implementation takes place, automatically, if you're a UT holder, you will be transferred to this new account, if I should put it this way. And you had also indicated that on the SC, there is not going to be the cap of the existing 1,000 cities per week that is happening on the UT. Is that the case? Then, if that is not the case, if we still have this existing 1,000 cap, when is that going to be resolved? Because ever since I got to know of it, usually what I was doing was that every month I was making some deposits. But when at the beginning of the year, January, I went there to redeem some money for an emergency, and I got to know that I could do that 1,000 per week. So from then I stopped. I'm no more depositing any money for the adding any top up to my investment, because I thought it was unfair. We didn't get any communication. I mean, it was unfair to us, and all of a sudden, 1,000. Is this 1,000 thing still there? When are you going to take these things out? Then, when is the SC happening? And I also heard you mentioning that once you are in the SC by default, there is no cap. You can redeem as many or as much as you want. I mean, like the previous policy that we had. Is that the case? When is it starting? And is it that the SC, when we're on it, now when I go and I want to redeem, I can redeem the maximum number that I want, not on the 1,000 cap that you introduced?
Thank you, Tony. Your question is well understood. And in fact, you are the reason we are having this conversation today, and you are the reason this alternative portfolio is being introduced. I will pass it on to Madeline to comment on your question.
Funny, and just like Divine indicated, in fact, it is because of you we brought the surplus. And I encourage you to, you may need to run and not walk to reinstate your standing order and your direct debits. And to answer your question whether the withdrawal limit on the existing fund would hold, no. As I indicated, you can withdraw the terms that we had on the unit trust earlier on. You can do your 5,000 CDs cash immediately, and you can, any amount above that, give us a few days notice, and we will issue a check in your favor. And because of this, there's no reason to hold on to your money. We did come up with this subclass for you, which is already running. So we wanted to know when it's going to start. It has already started. We are waiting for your first deposit in there. And you wanted to know whether all new deposit will go to the subclass. Yes, they will go, and therefore you would have access to it. The important thing is that you really need to fund that account to improve your liquidity, so that as and when you have need for funds, you can easily access it. So the encouragement to all of us is that please, those who do not yet have standing on this and direct debits, the power of investment is in consistency. Once you are regularly investing, then you can work towards your goal. So we encourage you to set up a standing order, set up a direct debit. You will have access to your money when you need it. The arrangements that existed before, and we are happy to have you on board. Thank you.
Thank you, Madeline. There's about 2 more hands up. I will just allow this for the last time. Edmond Danso, please ask your question, followed by Lynn, and then we'll be drawing down the curtain.
Morning, team.
Morning.
So if my memory serves me right, the purpose of this investment, what it means is that this new subclass investment, the bond holders is not going to be affected. Is that right?
If you say bond holders, who do you refer to? Are you talking about the unit holders of the collective
I'm referring to the unit trusts. So the market-to-market instrument affected the unit trust. So the new sub account, what it means is that the market is not going to affect it.
Yes, because we are not investing into bonds in the subclass.
Okay, so once your deposits are going into the unit trust, the market-to-market still affect it.
No, not in the subclass.
Not in the subclass.
Yes.
What about the unit trust?
Okay, so we explained that the existing unit trust will continue to manage it and value it separately because it has asset classes, some of which are in the bonds that were affected by the DDEP. You know, for the collective investment schemes, government has given dispensation for 5 years instead of the 10 to 12 years. So we have to manage it over the period of 5 years, and all things being equal, once payment is received, those maturities will be rechanneled into the appropriate instrument that will inure to the benefit of our unit holders. Have we answered the question? I want to believe. So, Lynn, you are our last person to ask the question. So please unmute and proceed.
Good morning, team. In fact, the same question is the question I wanted to ask is the question the last caller asked, because I wanted to find out that is it the SC, is it going to be affected by the government? Like they have the bonds, you know, the way the unit trust was affected by the bonds. Is it the same thing? Are you going to invest in bonds? But I realize you're not going to invest in bonds. So with the subclass, at least our money will be saved. And I wanted to find out, is it possible I transfer my wealth class into the subclass? But I realize it will be no, because it's still within the unit trust, but I don't know. I want to find out because I have a world class, because that was the last product you introduced before these government issues. So is it possible I transfer the world class into the subclass? And I hope the subclass will not have any issue. When I want to withdraw, I can withdraw 5,000 instant. If I want to withdraw 20,000 or 30,000, like we did before with the unit trust, you can give notice, they give you a check, you can withdraw. Because you know we are saving for a purpose and for emergency. And you get to a point you need money and you come, they said you can withdraw 1,000 cedis. It's frustrating because how can my whole money I can withdraw 1,000 cedis? I don't think it's the best. So I want to be sure. Like the other caller said, because I started unit trust 2004. And I've been doing standing order since 2004. I've invested with you for almost 20 years. And all of a sudden, I have stopped the standing order. I don't do anything with you any longer because I don't see why I bring my money and I can't withdraw. So if we are sure the subclass will not affect any government issues, then we know we are safe. I don't like a situation, we'll sit here, we'll discuss, then we want to withdraw our money, we'll come and he said, oh, this one today is an issue. I think my manager is Lydia. Then Lydia will not have it easy with justice. So please, because I've been there crying and they saw.
Okay, I think the import of your question.
I don't even want to think about it. So please, let's clarify it that the subclass is not part of any government issues. When we want our money, we can get it at any time, anywhere. Now, the old ones that we have it with unit trust and world class. When can we withdraw? When can we have our money? Because we need the money. Like the other caller also said, I have to travel, so I need to go. I'm going out of Ghana. I don't want to live here. So I need my money. How do I get my money and leave? Thank you.
Okay. So once again, can we have your full name, please? Lynn, can we have your full name? Madam, if you can hear us, can we have your full name? Please unmute your mic.
My name is Evelyn Tremona Brown.
Okay. Okay. Thank you for your question, and you require some assurances. We will give you those assurances. However, we want to say that we empathize with the situation. We're all caught up in the circumstances we find ourselves in, not deliberate at all, but also in the right spirit to protect the investors going forward. So Madeline is the chief executive, and I believe when you hear from her, you know, your heart will cool down and you'll be well comforted. But be assured that we are here for you. So Madeline, please speak to our valued client.
Dear Evelyn, thank you for your question and thank you for keeping faith with us till now. I'm happy to know that you've been with us for close to 2 decades, and we are very grateful for your loyalty. And this we will not take for granted. We will reach out to you again and allay all your fears. And like we said, we were working in the background to make sure that what we saw last year does not repeat itself. And that is why we have come up with this new solution. So I encourage you to start your standing order again, because there's certainly the need to plan for tomorrow. So please keep investing. I will personally reach out to you so that we can get the investment objectives going. And whether you are in the country or not, you can still invest and or redeem money. So don't worry at all about if you need to travel. Keep your investment going. We will reach out to you with it when you need it. And if you need to add more to it wherever you are, just let us know and we'll guide you through the process. Thank you so much.
Thank you so much, Madeline. And dear unit holders, we do appreciate your time with us today. You have indeed made the conversation very interactive. Relevant questions have been asked from you, and we do really appreciate all that. We are here for you, and we'll continue the journey to enable all of us benefit from this investment that we are managing for you, and you also having faith in us by bringing your funds to us to manage for you. I'll give the last word to Madeline once again to give us her closing remarks. Then we can draw the curtain.
Good afternoon, our dear unit holders, and thank you again. It's been an insightful and interactive session. You have indeed showed that you value this partnership, and we also want to assure you that we will work together with you for you to achieve all your investment objectives. As we have indicated through this presentation, we have introduced the Republic Unit Trust subclass and the Republic Wealth Trust subclass. So you can keep investing in the Wealth Trust, which is a fixed income fund, and in the Unit Trust, which is a money market fund. Please start today. Those of us who do not have the standing orders or direct debits in place, just call us, reach out to us. We have our numbers displayed, and please reach out to us and we'll help you with it. There is the need to plan for tomorrow, and we remain the one for you. So stick with us, and we will ensure that you achieve your desired financial independence towards wealth creation. Thank you, and look out for us. There will be many more interactive sessions that we'll be having periodically, and we will inform you, put you on notice. Do join us, and together, let's make this partnership stronger. We appreciate your wisdom. Many thanks.
Thank you, Madeline, and thank you, dear unit holders, for your time with us. Apologies for those hands that are up. Please feel free to reach out to us. The numbers are still on your screens. Pick the numbers, or you send us an email, then we will respond accordingly. All right, we want to, before we take the closing prayer, we want to announce to all of you here present that the recordings of this will be on our website. So please feel free to visit our website. Then you can access very useful information in addition to the webinar recording today. All the frequently asked questions that you need to be aware of to clear all your doubts regarding the subclass will all be on the website for further information for you. Thank you so much for your time. It's been a very pleasant morning, and we ask Justice Adjetey to close us off with a prayer.
Shall we pray? Our Lord and our Master Jesus, we thank you. We are grateful unto you for a time like this. We thank you that as we were about to start, we asked for your guidance and your protection. We give glory and honor and adoration to you for taking us through our meeting successfully. We pray this day, committing our unit holders into your hands. We ask that you bless their work, you bless everything concerning them, you give them the opportunity to continue to invest and help them to also grow their businesses. We left Republic Investment into your hands. We believe and trust in your leadership, and it is our prayer that you take this company together with our customers to greater heights. In Jesus' name we pray with thanksgiving. Amen.
Amen. Thank you, Justice Adjetey. Thank you, unit holders. Do have a pleasant day. All the best. Bye-bye.